Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and as always, I will be the GM of this woeful adventure of crazy whatever shenanigans we get up to. Let's meet the crazy shenanigan doers. Kate, who are you?
Hi, I'm Kate Pizarczyk-Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
So on our last episode, our lovely bard, Frog, decided it was a good plan to let Archimedes go off by himself and try and gather some flowers. Instead of resolving it in any normal or rational way, as one would, Frog decided to promptly attack and tie up an innocent pedestrian who was going to report them for lying and theft. And after that, decided to go to Miskatonic to ask them to wipe their memory, but not do anything about the whole tying up part. So after the memory was wiped, the innocent civilian got taken unwrapped, and their partner also got knocked out so that Frog could still remain anonymous. Then everyone went to Amy's, and she kind of had a little bit of a lore conversation with them, as she tends to do whenever she's choosing to be eldritch and spooky. And then the party kind of went about their own way a little bit. We have met back up again with our brothers Seph and Alto. The princes are officially married, and even though they are not married in the eyes of the country or the church, they are married in the eyes of each other, because Nori gave them a beautiful little wedding. And yeah, that's kind of where we resume. Miskatonic's effect on Frog, starting to hold over a little bit more. The others don't know about that at all, or about the whole incident that sparked it, because Frog said, let's keep that a secret. And that is where we will come back in as the teleportation circle fades, and you all arrive outside of like this giant monolith structure that is a palace housing the royal family in Paixturnel. Around you, you see a city carved from stone itself, as though part of the mountain passage was, instead of people bringing stuff up here, said, well, we have all this natural rock, let's just carve the mountain down to make a town, instead of trying to haul everything up here. And it's made for a beautiful mountaintop, state, more so. It's not an entire state of itself, but it's much larger than a city would be. Around here, you would see that there are sprawling markets. There is the palace. There is a cathedral carved from stone, not that far from the house of the royal family. Not as big, but still quite large, showcasing the importance of the church at the time that this city was founded. Looking to the south, you can see down the range to everything you all have seen before, and looking to the north, you can see the boreal lands up north of you, where the frosty winds never freeze, and the snow is endless. Everything you could possibly want to do in this town is here, because it is the capital of the entire country of Solana. Nope, that's the name of the city. It's the entire capital of the country of Aelith, and everything is here at some point. Players, I turn it to you now. What do you think you would all be doing, wanting to do, observing as you see this? You have yourselves, the princes, and your friends Seph and Alto with you, as well as Archimedes, who, after the teleportation, kind of looks in and is like, I don't feel like I need to listen to Miss Frog anymore. And Frog, you feel the effects of your awakened spell. It's still awakened Archimedes, but no longer needing to be commanded magically by you and the tether you have. I turn it to you now.
Have Seph and Alto ever mentioned that they've been near the city?
No. As far as you all kind of know, they kind of have never been further north of Solana.
Okay. I know once the transportation circle has faded, Nori would be super excited and say, we need to go to the market so that way I can get Solana coffee beans. So that way I can put them in our bag of holding, and I can have even more coffee at our disposal. Just being a little bit extra jittery from already having 2 cups of typical size coffee for the day.
what time of the day is it at this point?
You all went like at the morning of like time. You had spent a couple days, and all went together in the morning. So it is Saturday morning.
I'm going to just sort of follow lead on this. I'm assuming, Nori, you're just prancing away as soon as the circle just. Wait, are the princes with us?
They are, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was about to say, I'm just gonna, as Nori's like running away, just like grab like the scruff of her collar really quick and be like, we should probably touch base with them before we leave, so that we know if they need us for something.
I mean,
And with that,
but we're here and like we just married them, so it's like we can have a little bit of fun, right?
I'll shoot a glance over to Julian and Dion, and just be like, raise my shoulders, questioning like, hey, do you guys need anything at this point, or what do you want, or do we have some time to go explore? Also, where should we meet up with you again, or should we meet up with you again?
Yeah, those are great questions. I suppose we never talked about or really fully considered. I would invite you all to stay here, but that is going to be extremely formal, and we're not going to have instances occur. So we'll set you up in, there's a inn down the way that's reserved for like guests of important political figures. We'll set you all up in there. In terms of anything we need, I mean, you have your invitations. I know we have a few weeks until the official wedding, but you can contact us. We'll gladly talk with all of you. If you find anything important about anything you all have been in looking into, feel free to reach out and share. Don't ruin everything. And like, especially looks at you, Frog. Just don't, okay? And Julian's like, hey, I think it's fun when Frog does stuff, but like, I get why we don't want the entire country knowing about some stuff, like, 2 weeks before a wedding.
As Frog is hearing this, she's just gonna like put her hands behind her back and just take a give a shy look to Dion.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just put you in there. We'll send ahead. So if when you get there, just let them know that you're there and they can accommodate the 5 of you. And that Archimedes jumps out. Oh, but I need my own room now too. I am an independent person, and I believe I should have the rights to also have my room. So I believe we need 6 rooms, not 5.
We'll figure that. I'll look at Dion. We'll figure that out. Don't, because I'm assuming he's just already irritated at the frog even came.
Yeah.
I'll chime in before he even says it.
Knows. It's like he knows it's with all of you, but yeah, Archimedes is not looked upon lovingly by the royal couple. That you are able to talk with them. It just like a few pointers of where like the town is laid out wise, so that they're not just saying. Because if you enter from this, like, either entry point of town, it's easy to find your way. When you're teleported into the middle and say, okay, roam free, it can be hard to find your path or your direction. So I kind of give you all a layout of the town and let you know where to go as you all get going on your way. Seph and Alto with you still. Seph, of course, not talking, other than to Frog and his brother. But Alto, like, yeah, so we kind of don't really know what's going on, because you all kind of said, hey, want to come meet us in town? And then we did, and then you didn't really have time for us until we kind of met that lady that was really weird, and she told us a lot of things in our head, and I don't know how she knew that. And then we kind of all teleported here, which is fine. We just never really had the discussion about the next step because step 1 never really happened. So what do you want from us? And do we have a way home, or do we have to walk home?
I'm sure that we can find a way home for you if that's what you want right now. But also, you're just free to stay here with us and have a good time for a little while. It'll be nice to have you here.
Yeah, if
Think
you
about
want
it.
us to stay with you. Yeah, if you want us to stay with you, it was fun the time we spent, and we'll gladly stay with you a bit longer, especially if you think we'll be of aid.
Yeah, I think so, and maybe we can also get some more information.
Then you hear in your head, are we gonna go stab the church people?
No, probably not. I think that maybe Dion wouldn't like that very much.
Oh, okay. Because Amy said the church people might be bad, so I thought that we were gonna go stab the church people, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know that
At this point, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, finish.
the church people might be bad, but there might be other ways we can deal with that.
You just see him shrug his shoulders.
At this point, Frog, you've just been staring at the brothers, not saying anything for like 2 minutes. So
It
I'm
was
just
like
looking at
12
Morgan.
seconds. It was a simple conversation line.
Well, yeah. I'm just looking at Nori, being like, they're doing their thing again. I don't know. And Nora, are you even here, or did you leave?
No, I'll still be hanging around. One area that I think also would be super cool that we could go to maybe is a library, or would we know if this library is more like locked down, so to speak, kind of like the other school library that we went to?
And this one's not tied to any school, so you don't know how it would be, but there wouldn't be like any governing institution outside of the library itself or the church or the royal family, whoever runs it, but you're not sure which is. You don't know who is the runner of it.
Okay. And then from Saturday, so the day that we're at right now, how long is it officially until the wedding?
2 weeks.
Okay. And then one final question. Have we talked about that's not the way to word it, sorry. Have we talked to Dion or Julian about who is officially being invited to the wedding? Meaning like the people we think may be involved in some of the doings could be around the city either before or after the wedding, not trying to screw up the wedding and all.
Yeah, you haven't specifically asked for a guest list, but you would assume, especially people that you all are kind of trying to like fuck around with, if they were invited to the engagement party, they're probably important enough to have been invited to the wedding itself. And then probably like a bunch more people, but anyone at the engagement party you can assume would be at the wedding.
Okay, cool. Just for good recon purposes. Again, after the wedding, even though this is metagaming, that's fine. Well, I think on that note, we should like go to the market. Woo! And I'll just start skipping away, attempting to figure out where the market is, not having asked anyone for directions.
Frog will gladly run behind you and try to find the market with you because she wants to find something special to send to Dolly.
I'll walk slowly behind with the brothers as you two run ahead.
Yeah, and as they run ahead, you hear from Alto, would it not make more sense to go to the inn first so we can know our home base and put things down? They're too far gone. It's fine. We can find it later. It's okay. And they just start walking with Cass after the two of you running towards the market. When you get there, it is huge. Like, Solana has a large open trade market But that is nothing compared to here. This is like layers of layers built on top of each other as different like stone structures have been carved out of just different stores, kind of like an original like a mall of kinds. So it's got multiple layers, all with different shops, except it is external and outside. There are magic shops, there are jeweler shops, there are just trinket things. There's that one weird tourist shop of like, I've been to Paixturnel and all I got was this sweatshirt. There's every sort of thing you can think about here in the city. You find the market because it's not hard to find based on like just direction of this town and the way it's built. Everything kind of leads into another as long as you're in the right area. But what specifically are you looking for? I know, Frog, you're looking for something for Dolly. Nori, is there something you're specifically looking for as you run headfirst into this open market with no plan?
Looking for potions and maybe a area, because words are hard, an area where I could buy a diamond and also maybe some armor as well, an armory. And then one final thing, a place where I can get a cute little wedding gift for Dion and Julian.
Okay. Yeah. And the other two, is there anything you're all specifically looking for?
Yeah, Frog will be probably go with Nori to like look at stones and stuff because she wants to get Dolly like a nice necklace. Not not a ring. So yeah, she'll be looking for that.
Nice. And Cass?
I'll be looking for probably a similar something for Julian and Dion. So probably try to think of something creative and trying to hang back with the brothers, but a gift, maybe a nice mug, like something nice to potentially drink something from, and more tobacco for my pipe. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, then you would all go about finding, especially like the little gifts and things, and your little personal items are easy enough to find. Nori, there are several shops specializing in like gems and stuff, so you're able to acquire any of the ones of like different pricing you may need. There are several weapon shops and armories, so if anyone wanting to have any sort of like items made or purchased could be done, as well as, Nori, if you didn't want to swap out your adamantine armor, you could have it enchanted to be more efficient without losing the effects you currently have on it. So all of that would be able to be done. It would take time, probably take like 2 hours to acquire everything you're all looking for. So it would be midday by the time you're done, but everything you're looking for is able to be done. Is there anything specific people want to find? Like from the general vibes?
When you say the adamantine armor could become more efficient, would that efficiency mean an increase in my armor class?
Yeah, like you could have it enchanted to be like a +1 or +2 item. You give it like an additional 1 or 2 points to your AC.
Yeah.
It would just cost you like 1,000 gold to get it up to +2.
How much would it cost to get it to +1?
500.
I'll do +1 only because I would also like to find any potions of healing and also a diamond worth 300 gold pieces.
Yeah, easy enough to find. And Cass, as you're kind of wandering with the brothers, you notice that they are looking at a lot, but they don't seem to have any money. So they seem wildly unprepared to be in the city that is not nature and also relies heavily on actual commerce, as they have not had anything of the like for 80 or so years. So they're just kind of like looking around and just seeing everything a little bit out of their element and a little confused.
And as they're doing this, like I'm assuming we're just all in a group, like a very touristy type thing. We're all like, "Oh, look at this." If I see one of the brothers, I'm assuming the one connected to Frog specifically, seem very interested in something, I'll go up and ask the one that can talk and be like, "Does he want it?" And I'll cover it for them. Just
Cass,
as,
what are their
again,
names?
they.
What are their names,
Mm.
Cass?
Let me think.
Which one's which, Cass?
Man,
We've
you
only
think I would
known
know these
them
things.
since March of 2024, and it is January of
Yeah.
2025. What are their names, Cass?
Yes. Alto's the older brother, Seth's the younger brother.
There you go. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I only had to look
yeah,
at my
it's
last
nothing-
notes.
It's nothing big or expensive, but just like fun little things that look interesting. And like some of it is like just whetstones or stuff that they would actually benefit from, but then just like a cool like deck of cards that the two of them could play together, or like small things that if they were back at home would just make it a more exciting time, or just the little things that they request. But yeah, very nice.
Actually, there is one other thing that I would be looking for as
Mhm.
well. It's nothing too crazy. It's if I see anything magical that not like for like any battle type purposes, but just would be fun for the group to have, like something fun to mess around with, I'd keep my eye out on it.
Yeah, they have an entire magic shop of one of like enchanted armors and weapons and magic that is like for an adventuring guild, and then they just have one that's like more like household magic items, so like brooms that can clean by themselves, or like the equivalent of alarm clocks that are like the alarm spell cast in a stone. So if you wanted to find something weird or like useful but not useful, or kind of like silly and fun, it'd be in one of those shops.
Gotcha. I'll just keep my eye out and I'll
Okay.
if I find anything that may be interesting.
Nice. And Frog, what are you acquiring? We know we have a necklace for Dolly. Anything else, or any special kind of necklace you're looking for?
I was thinking a gold chain with like a ruby on it, because she gives off ruby vibes for some reason. So I will collect that for her, and then maybe just like look around for like little things for my siblings back home, and perhaps Pepin as well.
Yeah, easy enough to find, especially like little just trinkets that your siblings would enjoy. Easy enough to find and easy enough to send off and acquire and like find a way to send them off. Nice. And by like noon on this day, you all have everything you need. And also, once again, we'll say, I mean, we can keep wandering, but now we have more. Should we go to our resting place, or I don't want to impose, but you all seem terrible at navigating.
Just one more thing, and then we can go. I just want to grab some Paixturnel coffee, beans, or grounds, whatever, before we go to the inn. And so I'll grab those real quick and then head off.
Sure. Yeah, and you are able to walk back in the direction of the top of the city is where the castle and the cathedral kind of like overlook at like a joint level, overlook the top of the city on the way down. So you're able to head back up into like height of the city towards where you all teleported into the inn. It's really nice. Far nicer than anything else you all have stayed in while you're traveling. Not as homely as the manor palace of Dion and Julian back in Solana, but like in terms of quality, it is clearly like an estate house for people. If some of the people that were like from the neighboring countries were to be staying in town, they would stay here. If any like higher ups were to stay here, you also get the feeling that if you all are being housed here, some of the other people that are at the wedding will probably also be being housed here. So it's a spot that if you wanted Nori to try and recon on people, maybe spending a couple days here would help with that. Right now, there's no one really here because it's far enough out that it doesn't make that whole lot of sense for people to be here unless like they came here with the people that are getting married. But it's something where you could be checking out.
Is there also a like front desk person who mans like giving out keys? At some point within like the next couple hours or chunk of time, I would ask them where the library is and if you need to have any type of church or whatever clearance to go into the library, and if the library has certain operating hours.
Yeah. The person at the desk would be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about anything at all. No, you don't need any sort of clearance to get in. It is publicly run and publicly funded and publicly open. I don't know when it closes and opens. It's rather early in the morning and rather late at night. I imagine it does close, but it's open if I'm awake, it's open. So just don't go at like 3 a.m. or something and you should be fine. I don't remember your other question, but I think I answered it. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, but my name's Nori, and I really like to make people coffee. Would you like some? Also, what's your name?
My name is Seamus.
Seamus, it is so nice to meet you. Would you like some of my coffee? I just got it from the market. I can ground you up some fresh grounds, pour you a little cup, just as a thank you for giving me this information.
Not at all. You are a random stranger who has been in here for a couple moments and is suddenly offering me a drink that I don't know the origins of. No, thank you.
Oh, well, you'll be seeing my face and my lovely companion their faces, words, and I'll gesture over to everyone in our party, including Archimedes, and I'll say, if you ever want to take me up on that offer, I will be around. So I'll see you later, and I'll just walk away a little flabbergasted that he didn't accept my coffee, because I was really excited to give him some.
As you turn to walk away, Frog, you feel Archimedes like shuffling to get out of your bag. Are you going to do anything about that, or are you going to let him get out?
Knowing that her, rule over him is no longer, she will let him do what he wants in the hopes that he will continue to stay with us. So she'll go ahead, take her backpack off, and, unzip it. Well, not zip it, but, and let him out.
Yeah. Then as Nori, you're walking away, you see him walk past you up to the front desk. And he's like, hello, Seamus, I heard your name. I was promised my own room. I am the king of frogs, and I believe it is only fair that I am given my own housing and my own residence, and I was told that you treat foreign nobles here, and I believe that I am the most foreign of nobles, and I deserve better treatment than anyone else. So how are you planning to accommodate me in my special stay here in your nice hotel?
Do we know how much the rooms are here?
No. You had it, written off. They were just like, oh, just go tell them who you are, and we have the rooms already paid for here.
Frog is going to...
I'm just watching.
Yeah, Frog is gonna send a quick little message. Not using message, using... What's the...
Sending?
Not sending.
The
one that I have.
Speech?
Silent speech, yes.
Yeah.
To Nori and be like, would you mind if we shared a room so I can give Frog King my room and he can hopefully not be the worst?
Oh, yes. Queen, whatever you need, you got it with me. And I'll just continue walking away.
Okay. Good. Frog will then take from her notebook and jot out a little note that explains give him my room, I will be staying with Nori, and then slide it onto the desk like a casual bribe.
Yeah, Seamus looks down, one confused because he was just offered a potential casual bribe in forms of coffee, and now this frog is making demands, and then you offer a little bribe, and he looks at the note and goes, yeah, okay, if you need me to, do that, that is perfectly fine. Just for, clarity reasons, would this friend of yours fall under like a no pets allowed contract situation, or are they a little bit something else, or what's the plan? And Archimedes immediately goes, I am no pet, I am the king of frogs, I am the leader of this group, and they have asked me kindly to lead them in their adventures because I know everything and can take them everywhere.
At this point, Frog is gonna step back and lift her hands up, I'm done. It's all yours, because she knows the last time she tried to get out of something, it did not go well for her.
And he'll hand Archimedes a room key. They're like magical little stones that all you have to do is hold to the door, and the door will unlock for all of you. So he hands Archimedes a magical little stone, hands you and Nori one of a matching pair, and then hands one to Cass and one to the brothers. And he's like, okay, well, I think that's all. Please don't harass everyone else staying here. You all have a general, about you. And I'd really like it to not hinder other people's experiences. Thank you.
I am just going upstairs. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm going to my room to hopefully get Frog King to follow.
Frog will follow, knowing she shouldn't cause any more of a disturbance.
On the way up, I will go over to Cass and be like, was he just a little rude? Did we do anything to cause him mental or emotional anguish? Because okay, I offered him coffee. Archimedes sure was a little, Archimedes-ish, which is fine. It's great. It's him. He's the Frog King. But we haven't done anything wrong.
And as she's tugging on my pant leg to get me, I will crouch down very nicely, clap my hands together, and cast prestidigitation, and have a small rainbow appear between my hands and be like, we need to work on your social cues. And then I'm just gonna go and walk into my room and shut the door.
With this note, Frog, would you like to go relax in our room for a little bit? Because apparently we're just too much today. Whatever.
And you
yes,
see
Frog
Smoke
opens the door.
Smoke just instantly starts billowing out from under my door. I am just smoking, relaxing in my room. Normal tobacco.
Very important. Yeah, Frog will open the door and gesture for Nori to go in ahead of her.
All right.
And as soon as
let's go.
As soon as I hear those two sort of shuffle their way through, I'll sort of quickly get back up, open my door, and look down and see. I'm assuming the brothers are still standing in the foyer. Or did they follow us up?
No, they're still downstairs. Archimedes is up here. He's just has a rock in his tongue. He's flinging it at random doors because he doesn't know how to read room numbers. So he's just waiting until one opens. But the brothers are both downstairs, kind of just looking around, trying to figure out what they want to do for a bit of time. You all seem to be residing into your rooms. They didn't want to bother any of you. We're just gonna figure out what we're doing.
I guess seeing Archimedes just struggle bus with the door, I will just go help him get into his room, make sure he goes in, and then securely shut the door behind me as I leave.
Mm-hmm. And all of your rooms are very well, like, appointed. They're very fancy. They're very soft. Even, like, for those of you who have to share, it's not, like, diminished in any way. You still have, like, a private suite and then also, like, 2 very large beds, so it's not like having to be residing together as any sort of a punishment here. So Nori and Frog, no worries there. Same for Seph and Alto. But yeah, did you head down to them, Cass, or are you just kind of observing where they're at?
I was just more or less checking to see, like, are they sort of lost in ocean, like uncomfortable? But if they're sort of doing their own thing, I'll leave them alone.
Yeah. Nice. Then Frog, I think Nori had asked you a question about tact and understanding. If you had an answer for her, or if you're just kind of like, meh, that's fine too.
Yeah, Frog's not
no,
all
I'm
that
just-
much better. She's really not that much better than Nori, so has no information.
Okay. Yeah, then I think you're all given time to settle into your rooms, given time to get what you need. You hear the brother's room is closest to Archimedes, and so after a bit, you hear in your head Frog from Seph being like, I don't want to like bother you, but there's a weird sound coming from the room, and I think he's trapped. I don't think he knows how to get out. Do you have a way to get in and help, or is it kind of like, oops, and we just don't talk about it for a bit of time?
Frog will let out a very large sigh, loud enough for Nori to clearly notice that something is happening, and she's gonna get up and say, apparently, Archimedes is just locked in his room, so we need to figure out how to get him out.
Okay, let's go see what we can do.
And we are gonna head out the door and potentially start going downstairs unless somebody else hears us or stops us, to see if Seamus at the desk would so kindly help us open the door.
And no one's stopping you on your floor. But yeah, if you head down and ask, oh, yeah, I should have imagined that this would have been a problem letting a frog live by itself. Do you want, like, a backup key just in
Yes,
case
please.
you need... Okay, and we'll hand both of you, like, matching keys to the color of the stone given to Archimedes that you both have a way in and out. Should it be needed in any capacity?
Frog will go open the door and check on Archimedes just to see how he's doing.
When you walk in, he's like, "Oh, this place is not made for frogs. The bed is too high, and the door is too high, and everything is very high, and I can jump, and it's fine. But I tried to get out, and the stone wasn't opening the door, and it's just like a pole handle just to get out, and that contraption there is blocking me from leaving, and it is not. They should have made things for frog nobles because they knew a frog king was coming. They should have made a room for frogs."
Archimedes, I bet they have some type of like feedback system or a survey you can fill out once we're done. You can definitely let them know at the end of our stay things that they could do different for next time. So maybe when you come and visit Paixturnel and you bring your whole frog court with you, they'll have better accommodations. But this time, we just gotta make do with what we have, right? And do you think, like, between Frog, Cass, and I, there's any accommodations we can help build for you?
Yes, if you can make ramps. I have seen ramps before, and I believe they would be assistant in getting into bed and to the handle of the door.
Okay, we'll work on that so that way you can have those things for you. Okay? Does that sound good?
I am detecting sarcasm and sass.
You may be getting a little bit of sass because that's always me, but I promise there's no sarcasm. Truly, I will go out later and I will buy wood and I will try and make you a little ramp.
Okay. And I would like a ramp out of the tub too, please. I would like to take frog showers, and I don't know how to do that. So if you could teach me how to turn on and off the water, and also how to get in and out, I want to take a frog bath, please.
We'll work on it. We got plenty of time that we're hanging here.
And Cass, what are you up to as Nori and Frog are consoling Archimedes?
I am ignoring this whole situation. I am relaxing in my room until someone, probably much shorter than me, comes knocking on my door to tell me we have to do something probably idiotic for our frog friend. But on a serious note, aside from just relaxing, Cass would be sort of reflecting on what's left for us to be doing at this point in time. Just sort of thinking about what we talked about with Lady Catonic and just sort of the discussions of what we've learned over the past month plus at this point.
You all would have met about 3 months ago.
3 months ago. So over the past months, just sort of reflecting and overall relaxing until the group ultimately decides that we need to get out and do something. And I'll be ready at that point, but until they come get me, I'm not coming out of the room.
Yeah. The first actual moments of silence you've had since leaving your home in that one tavern, and you're like, nope, it's mine now. It's my time. Leave me alone. Very relatable and very fair. And yeah, the day can pass if there's anything big people want to do, or if it's just kind of like first day in town, you all kind of want to get your own things done in the way that's sometimes very nice to do in a new city. That can happen as well. What do you all think you would do?
I think I would take the evening and try and go spend some time at the library.
Okay. Frog?
Frog will assist Archimedes in bath time because she does not trust that he will not flood the entire building. So, unfortunately, that is how she will be sending her evening.
Yes.
Or do you tell me you leave, or do you just boom gone?
I would tell you so that way you can start thinking of some plans for Archimedes ramps. So that way you can start like getting those in your head, and I'll pick up some wood on my way to the library.
On the
I
way
will
to, not the
probably
way back from?
Yeah, the way back.
Stupid
to the
plan.
library.
Bag of holding, so like in theory could fit some things in there, but I just mean like if I'm coming back late. So that was my preemptive thinking, but that's fine. Whatever.
I'll probably leave with Nori then when she tells me that I need to build ramps for a frog in the room, literally down the hall. I'll leave with her, just sort of discussing that she'll get wood. I'll go get anything else we sort of need, nails, hammers, just little stuff. And then just quick side note, how is everyone dressed in this area? Like, are we standing out or pretty normal?
In terms of the whole city, it's pretty normal. In terms of like this upper area, people are wearing slightly finer things than you all tend to wear. Like clearly not stuff that's been out on the road, being slept on the ground, finding things like throughout. They're more like higher end clothing that it's been broken in, but it's not been weathered. But in terms of the general population of the town, you fit right in.
Okay. And while I'm out, I will actually grab just some extra sets of like clothes, as in like robes, just like a couple shirts, a couple extra pants, nothing like groundbreaking stuff that'll fit in, but enough for I don't know, 3 to 5 outfits, just enough so I can have some changes of clothes for some just people watching in the tavern without being too conspicuous of wearing the same thing for days on end.
Easy enough. Okay, yeah, so you and Nori head out. Frog, as you are attempting to bathe Archimedes, there's a knock on the door, and you can hear from Seph, like, hey, we don't really have plans, so if you want us to sit and hang out with you, we can't. Or if you want us to, you can tell us to leave, and we can leave. That's fine. The other two are going somewhere, and we can go play. We can make our own choices.
It's
we
fine.
just are
You can
overwhelmed. So okay, because we don't know what
you
to
can
do.
come in.
So they will go with you as Nori and Cass head out on a grand adventure to acquire wood, clothing, and library stuff. The wood and the clothing. I mean, Nori, are you getting the wood on the way there or back? Your bag of holding, yes, you can put it in there. It's just a funny image seeing you walking around with like 18 2x4s on your way to the library.
I will in fact grab them on my way because that was my original plan.
Okay, so you and Cass stop by the market once again, getting literal essentials and also the least essential thing you could possibly need in this moment before making your way to the library. When you get there, it is like many things here, all carved out of stone, carved into the mountain itself. So it's just large. It has very vaulted ceilings because it wasn't that hard, and it has like a weird like twisting shape to it, as though they just carved out following the stone shape of the ground more so than trying to make it fit anything. As you're all walking, you can all very much tell like the city was magically shaped by like a lot of like druids or people that had stone shapes or stone working magic. One of the fact that like this was the spot where the peace treaty happened, the druids were able to really like come together with the humans and shape this city. Kind of is part of the marvel of the city itself. So a lot of these buildings, instead of trying to stand out, are all shaped to fit the natural landscape they're pulled from. So yeah, when you walk into the library, it's a huge, a huge cavern full of books, but lined with impressive stonework and everything. And what would the two of you be looking for?
I would be looking for a book that would complement the history of the Archphase, and then anything we potentially could get on Gemini as well.
Yeah, and we'll say that in the time you've all been sitting and doing things, you were able to read your History of Archfey book, because you haven't fully read it yet in terms of you narrating you have, but you've had time. And so information from there that you would pull to try and find, not a lot of names, because like it's very hard to get a name for a fairy. It's very hard to like lock down who they are. So a lot of them are just referred to by like their title or by their position. It's like the Queen of the Winter Court or the Queen of the Fairies, which you would know to be Titania, your like lady. So all of them are just kind of referred to by what they generally do. So that could be something you look for, is just like the different courts or the different like statures that people hold. But then when you get here, looking for things specifically about Gemini, there is like a very old text section that you might find something in. But she's been gone from the world longer than like a lot of the tribes have been founded. So you'd need to find some pretty old texts to try and find anything referencing her.
I will look there. In addition to, when I was looking through the history of the Archfey, was there anything listed about Gemini that I could have gathered, that like she had a title, so to speak? So similar to, Titania being the Fae queen and whatnot.
You know that she was the queen before Titania. So that was just her title. There's no additional title granted to her in any way, and there's nothing that refers to them. It doesn't seem like anything has been written referring to her since she made her sister out of her own blood. It seems like everything documented would have been referenced beforehand.
Okay. And have we established yet what type of magic the pink hue is?
No, you assume it's either divine or fae, but you have no way of knowing it really.
Okay. I'll see. So I'll look in those old texts for anything that talks about Gemini, or I could assume or deduce that if they refer to the Fae Queen, it was before Titania. In addition to anything maybe about pink hues, pink magic, whatever that looks like. Yeah, that was my only thoughts on those things.
And Cass, is there anything you're looking for?
I would probably start helping her with what she's looking up, just because that sort of links to everything that we're trying to do at this point in time. So I'd assist her with that. And I think once you got your bearings on that information, I would go and look up any information I can find about the Crescent Isle and the other one that we haven't quite made it to yet. Just sort of seeing if there's any information, not even related to the shrine, just any information about the areas in general at this point.
Yeah, the other one being the Sunken Cove. But yeah,
Yes.
both of you go ahead and you've got a lot of time, so you can do both of these checks at advantage. Investigation or history or knowledge, like some sort of studying check for what you want to try and acquire.
I'll do investigation.
Okay.
I'll also just do investigation.
I got a 14.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah, so Nori, with the help of Cass, you're able to find a lot of older things, kind of in a maybe unexpected but not too unexpected spot, because the last time that you really found out about like the intersection of where the Fae met the Divine was when you were studying the original Twilight clerics and their concept of transition and peace and night to day and the eternal thing of change. So in some really old texts that far predate the city, there's not a lot there, but there seems to be some sort of understanding about how the Fae can be worshipped as gods, regardless of if they're deific or not themselves. Something there. There's no direct mention of colorations of magic. You have known that that kind of seems to be based on like the prevailing belief is what you've picked up from the people you've talked to about it. So like it was white because peace, and now it's pink because something else. I don't know if you would have anything you want to try and follow up with on like colors or anything like that, or if there's somewhere else you might try to get it from. But then in terms of specific names or identities, you would find on a dirty 20, you would find there's a couple things that just, it's like when some of the first Fae came to the world, like accounts of just what it was like when she was in charge. So like this would be like accounts from several thousand years ago. And it just kind of shows that like it was a time of like tremendous growth for the Fae because there was no structure or rule or thing that had to work. It was whoever did the best got to be the best. And it was much less a like system and much more an anarchy of everyone trying to outdo each other. For
Okay.
Cass, on your... Go ahead. Yeah, you go.
So meaning like that last part that Gemini became like the queen or the ruler of the Fae because she was quote unquote the best, or just within like civilization itself, that's how things kind of ebbed and flowed.
More the second one. So she was queen because of whatever Fae birthright policy, whatever. But when she was the one that was reigning, her policy was more, if you're the best, prove it. And so it descended into a lot of, not turmoil, because the Fae they enjoy a bit of chaos, but like the innate chaos of your people became the structure that's like of the the structure of the entire courts for a while, as everyone was trying to outdo each other and prove that they were better than those around them.
Okay, I have a follow-up search once you're done with Cass.
Okay. Yeah, and Cass, on year 14, spending a lot of time helping Nori, but then finding like histories of the coasts is not that hard. The Crescent Isle itself has always just been a small town that exists off the coast. It used to just be an unclaimed island that just kind of got adopted by the country of Aelith to be part of the world. The Sunken Coast, however, still has its own representative, and they have their own people and their own culture. And so there's a lot more written on that history there. Is there a specific sort of thing you're looking for in terms of like their history, or is it just kind of like the general existence of the coast or of the cove?
Just the general existence of the cove at this point. I guess it's a situation of I don't know what I don't know, so I really wouldn't know what I'm looking for. I just know that there's something there that I need to do.
Yeah.
So trying to get some information on the area specifically.
Yeah, so then getting information on the area, you would find that like their system remains unchanged from like when they first became a peaceful neighboring country. There's nothing about like when they became neighbors, especially because most of like the text in here are post like the tribe settlements, so the stuff that was here beforehand is kind of not here much more and it's kind of lost. But as long as the humans have been trying to live in Aelith, the Sunken Cove has been there and has been a neighbor. It's not a place that a lot of people visit to because the majority of it is underwater, and the majority of it you would need to be able to breathe underwater or have some sort of escort to be into. But it seems to be very much like just it was once a cove that sank. No one really knows how it sank, no one knows what happened, but it's just a place of generally peaceful people who, the ones that could adapted, the ones who could not, either drowned or came to the mainland or went to the Iberian Empire to the south or some other places where land people were accepted. And they've always had their own beliefs about different structural things, about different gods and different entities and different magics that have never really vibed with the Church of Pieces. There are no more gods. We're all perfectly fine. So there's not any sort of like outcastism about them, but they're still respected enough that their representatives were invited to the engagement party and will probably be invited to this wedding. But they are not they don't agree with the church, and so they haven't gotten themselves as involved in Aelith politics and culture as some of the other countries have.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up, because I'm assuming I would be able to figure that out from the text, but the population of people there, are they human? Are they fish people?
Most, like, they're all aquatic in some nature. So some water genasi, which would be like the most humanoid, some Kuotoa, which are like full-on fish people, not like the Sahuagins you all fought, but like full-on like fish people. It's not, there's no like prevailing species or race or anything. It's just like anyone who's able to be aquatically dwelling is welcomed there, and it has a huge mix of different aquatic people.
Understood. So I'll just sort of pull out one of my books, just sort of jot down some notes just for reference of what to expect in that area, and then look back to Nori to see if she's drinking her 14th cup of coffee while in the library and try to help her again.
Having noticed Cass's glance my way and having my little mug with me, which actually has some herbal tea in it, I'll say, Cass, I am a lover of books. I am very conscious about what I drink around books. And if I had my 10th cup of coffee today, I would be a little bit too jittery to actually try and take in this wonderful information. Thank you very much. And then with that thought, having read about maybe some connection between things with Gemini and the things with the Twilight Clerics, I would try and find more information about the history of the Twilight Clerics, just learning more about that, if it happens to state anything about a pink hue as well. And then if there's a librarian present after like doing the research on our way out, I would just ask them where the Twilight Cleric church or temple is located, and then seeing like how much of a distance it would be from where we're at in Paixturnel.
Yeah. Nothing about the pink stuff does not seem to be present in any of the Twilight stuff. Like, your magic isn't pink. So, like, that seems to be something entirely unrelated. But the librarians are like, well, yeah, there's this old temple that no one's really been to because all of the elves left and nobody else really has picked up the mantle of it. But if you go like 2 days through the mountain pass to the west, then you can get to the temple. It's still there. It's kind of warded so that nobody raids it. But if you feel like you've got a reason to be there and you've got a way in, you've got a way in.
I will bring that information to Cass and then maybe bring it back to Frog and the brothers and see if maybe in the meantime, while like we're kind of waiting for the wedding, we can take that journey up there. And if we want to make it in a shorter trek, I can maybe ask Dion or Julian if we could borrow a transportation circle, maybe to at least like get there, and we could walk back in a way.
Yeah, you would know, like, just by you as a person in this world knowing how magic teleportation works, there would need to already be a teleportation circle there, or someone would need to have been there. You can't just be like, hey, can we randomly teleport wherever? So it'd be more likely you could get there by foot and then teleport back, then teleport there, and then walk back, just by how it works. Cass, the other thing you would remember from just kind of like your travels is that the current father of the cove is Ian Smouth, who is a Kuatoa, and it seems like the whole cove is a theocracy. If they refer to their head as like a father, they seem somewhat clerical. They seem to be a theocracy more than anything else. Frog.
That was the Sunken Grove.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Frog, let's look at this bath. What are you doing?
Just turning on the water for him and filling it up a respectable amount, and then turning it off. And then Frog will attempt to make a ramp for him to get up there using things that she has like in her bag and in the room. Theoretically, maybe like a cloth that she ties to like the spout and then like pulls out to let him climb in on his own. Trying not to make this be like, I'm giving you a bath. And then we'll let him, do his thing in there until he's ready. She will make sure that the water is off and that he cannot turn it back on.
Okay. Yeah, you make him this ramp, and as he's walking up into the bath, he's like, yes, it is very respectable that I can walk into a bath. I do not need to jump. It would not be respectable to jump in and out of tubs, so I can walk in. You have done me a great service, Miss Frog. I will remember this. And then just kind of like sits in the water and just like swims around a bit. The brothers are just kind of sitting in the chairs in the room, waiting for you to do this. So once he's in there, if you feel confident he's not going to wreck the place, you could go sit with them once more. Or if you feel like you need eyes on Archimedes, you could call them in here to like joint chaperone Archimedes in the tub.
God, that would be literally so awful. Just the three of us sitting there chaperoning.
One. Yeah, so not wanting to all chaperone him together, you're able to go out to like the bedroom part. Archimedes just swimming around, safely. You will have an ear if the water turns back on. You'll be able to hear it. So no stress about there as you go and sit with the brothers.
Frog will pull out a game to play, remembering back to how they enjoyed playing the game that Nori taught them when we were on the ship many moons ago. Really not that long ago. But anyway, so she'll pull out a game that she has and start playing in the hopes that it kind of gets their mind off of all the things that they're going through right now.
So that lady was terrifying, right?
Yes, she is a little bit terrifying, but she's not really the worst once you get to know her a little better. But you know, she's not the best.
What is she?
No one really knows.
Is she safe? Like, and clearly the princes have respect for her, and I don't mean to question them, but she knew everything. No one should know everything.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, the princes seem okay with her. Nothing bad happened to me when I've been with her other than, like, pretend bad things. So, like, if you wanted her help, she could maybe help you and maybe only pretend bad things would happen to you.
She did offer to help us, but you all seemed pressed for time, and she wasn't entirely sure how beneficial she could be. But I guess that's an avenue to explore. Is she only there? If we call out to her, can she hear us here?
Good question. I do not know the answer. We could try it.
I mean, it doesn't seem pressing unless you want to. We could talk about other things. It's just you all are so much. Like, we spent a week with you all, and it was kind of normal because we walked to a city together, and then we stayed in a city, and it was normal. And, like, you all were so strange then. In a good way, though. It wasn't the worst thing. Yeah, it wasn't the worst. But you all... You've now asked us to come meet you and then said, uh-oh, we forgot you're coming, even though you met us at the gate. Left us alone in a palace that we were not invited into, and then had us meet with something that nobody understands that says maybe it can help. And then we're here. I think you need to just have a moment of introspection for what your lives are, because they're not normal. Not judging in any capacity, but you are not normal people.
We never really claimed to be. I mean, maybe you could help us be a little bit more normal. You can give us some suggestions, maybe.
Yeah, the outcasts who've lived away from society for 80 years are the perfect people to help reintegrate the three of you into it. Great idea. And like throughout this, they are like engaging in the game with you. They're both very excited to be playing something. Learning new things has always been something they've enjoyed. It's the fact that you've presented them with like a new, interesting game. You're playing it while the stock is going on. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. The frog will then say, "Do you want me to try to see if Miss Katana can hear us?"
Do you want her to hear us?
I thought you wanted to communicate with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just
Then
like,
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Frog will begin.
Yeah.
Frog will begin thinking and be like, "Miss Katonic, can you hear me inside my brain? Are you there?" does
I'm
anything
not in your
happen.
brain, but I can hear you. You and I have a a wonderful connection. You can reach me whenever you need.
Oh boy. Frog has a clear, shocked look on her face and is going to look at Seph and Alto and say, I heard her. She's in there. Although she did say she's not in my brain. But she says we have a connection. And then
Yes, quite simply, I'm just watching you. Would you like me to be in the room with you?
Yes, please.
And you just feel like for you, the air relaxes, like that warm bath feeling. You can see the other two tense up and cold as just from nowhere, not even stepping out of a portal or anything, just Amy appears sitting next to you on the bed. Was there something that wasn't cleaned up? Did you have more questions about our agreement, or is there something else I can do to aid you?
Well, my friends here had more questions. They said you offered to help them?
I did, yes. And we'll look over to them and just communicate with them for a bit to see how much they want her to say to you or anything. And then looks back to you. Yes, I told them I don't believe I can undo their situation without knowing more about it, and I offered a similar path to the family I've offered to you and to your companions, and they didn't seem uninterested, but I also told them I don't know what would happen. Typically, it's awakening one's mind. Their minds have been well awakened, just in a way. Antithetical is wrong, but way different than I would typically do, and I don't know if doing it for them would awaken further or cause a problem, but if you all are able to find anything to determine how to undo some of the magics that may be keeping things going, perhaps we can awaken them together while removing a curse, and nothing would need to come of it. We're all friends now, right, Fragenna? We all want the same things.
She full named me. Okay.
She's always full named every one of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right, Miss Catonic. And then
You can call me
she's...
Amy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Amy. And then Frog is gonna skedaddle for a quick second into the bathroom to poke her head in on Archimedes and just make sure that he is not flooding the bathroom because she's been distracted.
Yeah. The bathroom is not flooding. He has knocked over the soap bottle, and the entire bottle has poured into the tub. And he's like, oh, Miss Frog, it feels strange on my skin, and I don't know what to do. I think I like it, but also I'm not entirely sure. But it has made the water taste bad. So I'm trying to not drink the water.
Frog will go in and pick him up and put him in the sink to rinse him off while the tub is draining from all the bubbles, and then set him back down on the floor.
And by the time you get back into the other room, the three of them seem to have some sort of conversation with each other. You hear from Seph, it's like, it's strange. No, that's Amy's voice. You hear from Seph, yeah, it's weird, because when you talk to me, it feels like I have to talk. When she talks to me, it doesn't feel like anyone's saying anything. It feels like things are just being communicated. Is that normal?
Frog, knowing that Amy can hear this while it's happening, is just gonna kind of let a ... hang in her head and not answer that.
Okay. Then yeah. After you are finishing toweling Archimedes and walk back, she looks to you and goes, yes, well, if there's anything else you need, don't hesitate to reach out. After all, we can only help each other the more we share. Your friends and I have had a wonderful conversation, and I believe we can be of aid if we all learn just a bit more about what's going on here and how, maybe not how to stop it, but a bit of an undoing might be all I need to aid them. If there's nothing else you need, I can head back. But don't worry, I'm always with you now.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming by to help us.
And just like in a blink is gone. Just as fast as she appeared, she is gone. And Alto is probably the first to talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Frog just like lets out a breath that she's clearly been just like holding because she's like nervous and didn't know what to do.
Yeah, Alto probably the first to talk. So, again, you all are not normal. What is her family?
I would just maybe not ask me any more questions about her because I really have no answers whatsoever. I think maybe I am part of her family now. It feels warm.
And on It Feels Warm, I think the other two are back at the hotel. Whether or not you're coming into the room, you would know that Frog and the brothers were here, so it wouldn't be out of place for you all to know that she's here. If you want to head in, you can, or if you want to head back to your own places, you can. If you do choose to go to Archimedes' room, you would enter on the line, It Feels Warm.
It feels warm? What's warm? Hopefully just the bath water. Is everything okay? Also, Archimedes, we have some planks of wood. And Nori will just skip in.
Frog will say nothing about it feels warm and just ignore it and be like, yay, you're back.
Can they?
Cass will come in.
Like you can?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that might just be a me thing now.
What's just a you thing? What happened?
Yeah, no, that was Seph.
Oh.
You can hear him.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're good. Yeah, Cass, as you enter.
Yeah, I'll just walk in and just look around the room, just taking it all in, realizing that this is my life now. This is what I signed up for. And just sort of sit back and absorb the conversation.
Yeah, while we were gone, we got taught how to play a very fun game. And we were telling Frog here that you all are baffling. And Frog asked us to help teach you all how to be more ingrained in society, to which I pointed out that we are terrible examples. And Cass, you yourself seem to be very good at it. The other two just seem to bring you down, so maybe if you had ways of leading them while they're here. We don't mean it in judgment. We pointed out to Frog the events of the last 5 days and how different they are to the average person's lived experience. How was your trip? Did you find what you were hoping to find, Nori?
Well, kind of. We apparently have more of a connection with Gemini and the Twilight Clerics, which I, in theory, should know about. But there is a temple that's like 2 days away if we walk there. But we got nothing else better to do. So, I mean, why not? We could always go hang out, see what's there. Do a little shebang. I'm tired. I've had so much coffee that I'm starting to crash. But what I'm trying to say is that we should go to the Twilight Temple, even if that means we have to walk there. Just to see what it is, see what it's about.
Do either of the brothers respond to that? Just sort of, for us, a normal request?
Yeah, they kind of, again, look to each other and go, we're used to walking. Walking's not an issue for us, and I imagine the mountains are not nearly as tame as the forests and plains of the south are, so if you need an escort, we are once again happy to repay your kindness in terms of safety and protection while traversing the land on the way there and back.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't even think it's item of repaying us at this point. We are just friends. We enjoy having you with us as company, and as long as you want to go, again, I do apologize. We have been a little bit out of sorts the past couple of weeks. Just sort of leaving you hanging when you were back in the capital and all of those fun little tasks that you saw us doing. But again, we enjoy having you here. Whether that is important or not to you, that is up to you, but you stay as long as you would like. As soon as you guys are uncomfortable, we will work with you to get you back to your home for a little while until you want to see us again.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, but... And we're glad that we're your friends. You're our friends, too. And really the only thing pulling us back south right now was conversations with Miss Catonic, but it seems that we don't need to be there to have those conversations, so we're happy to stay and aid Nori, you on your quest.
Wait, can we backtrack real quick? What do you mean you don't have to be Miss Catonic is that what was going on? Is there some fishy things that we don't know about? Cass and I leave for 3 hours, and what happened?
You see them both silently look at Frog, not answering anything because they have clearly misstepped, and they are not going to say more.
Frog, what happened with Miss Catonic?
She just came for a visit to talk to Seph and Alto because they wanted some help.
I'm gonna insight check.
Go ahead. Frog, technically there is truth in that, so your choice.
Yeah.
Don't tell us which one, but I want you to roll either persuasion or deception. Your choice which one, don't tell us which one you roll against Nori, your insight.
And I also do insight, but not assist Nori, just a separate one for me personally.
Yep.
Fork and butt heads. Hold on.
Fork and butt heads.
I'm sorry, I am trying to not cuss and get used to it for our tiny human. 25.
Yeah, Frog. Okay, what was yours?
17.
Okay, and Cass?
17.
Okay, so you can tell something's off about Frog. Nori, you can fully see through the lie. You don't know the truth of it, but you can see straight through the lie. As you can tell something's off, but you're not entirely sure if it's just a lack of information or what all it is.
Okay.
At this point, I'm just gonna let Nori just do her typical interrogation role of figuring out what's going on, and I'm just going to sit back and relax.
And yeah, Frog, on 7 higher than your roll, what do you think Nori would notice about Frog in the moment before Kate starts asking Julie questions?
Yeah, Frog would probably just be fidgety and not really confident in her words, obviously. And she might not be making eye contact really.
Yeah, so Nora, you'd see all of that as Frog's yes, she just wanted to visit, it's fine.
Oh, sure. Frog, I think you and I are gonna have a little bit of a chit chat when we go back to our room later. If that sounds good with you. It's a little girl-to-girl chat, that's all.
Sure.
And Frog, you in here in your head, sorry he said something. We thought they knew. Sorry.
Frog not bothered by it because it's not their fault. It's completely her own fault. It's just gonna be like, it's fine. It was gonna happen eventually.
Nice. And then
And-
Alto go, we're gonna go to bed now. And the two brothers stand up and walk out of the room. Unless Cass, were you about to say something to either of them?
No, I was about to say I got words for the other two, so that works. That works well. I'll wait for them to sort of make their way.
Yeah, they head out, respectfully bowing out of this awkward situation for the evening to go to bed, and the three of you are left alone. Archimedes still wrapped in a towel in the sink in the bathroom, but the three of you alone in the bedroom.
Okay, so nothing important, but Nori did buy all of this wood, and it is now, Sean, what time?
8:30 at night.
Yeah, it's late enough. We need to go outside and build these ramps because I would prefer to not get, let me put it like this. If I get woken up for any reason other than this building burning down, I will not be a happy camper tomorrow. And
Nori
I
will
want to
then
make sure.
go up to Cass's mouth and attempt to reach my arm up and put it over his mouth and say, Cass, shh, shh. It is too late for this nonsense. I will figure this out in the morning. Frog and I need to go have a conversation, and then I need to go to bed. And I'm going to skip off and take the bag of holding, which has all of the wood in it, to Frog and I's room.
You little chaos gremlin.
And
Frog
with that,
will-
Julie, let's
Oh.
let Dan finish his part, and then we can do yours.
Okay.
no, as Nori's skipping out, Cass is just going to very casually stand up, like throw back his cloak of billowing and have it be very dramatic and leave the room for the night.
Frog hanging back is going to go back into the bathroom, pick up Archimedes, and get him out of the towel and put him in bed and lay the covers on top of him. And then leave the room, close it, make sure that he cannot get out. Oh, also close the bathroom door.
Okay, so like kind of like
Yeah.
child-proofing the room for an Archimedes. Okay. Yeah, you do that, and I imagine, Nora, you're probably sitting on the bed waiting for Frog to return when we get to your room.
Yes, like crisscross applesauce, and I have prepared like 2 little cups of tea for us, so we can explore the tea, and I can get the tea from Frog about what's been going on.
Good. Frog walks in, happily receives the cup of tea, and sits crisscross applesauce on her bed.
Nice. And yeah, Frog, as you open the door to go into your room for the night, we will wrap up and have this conversation at the start of next episode. Hooray! Thank you, as always, players, for playing, and listeners for listening. It means the world to us. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us on social media at helpactionneeded on Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky, and other places, if other places exist. And my friends say, hey, you need this because you need to do it, and I say, I don't understand social media, and they say, make an account anyway, and I say, okay, and then do nothing with it. You could also email us at helpactionneeded@gmail.com, all one word until @gmail.com. We'd like it when you reach out to us. It's really fun. It's really cool to hear your guys' thoughts on things. And I feel like there will be some thoughts on Frog and Archimedes. I feel like both of those are about to be topics of intense conversation. But for now, that is all we have. So thank you, audience, for listening. Thank you, players, for playing. And as always, goodbye.